What's up guys, XRP charts here with another XRPUSD update. Okay, we can see overnight we had a nice green candle, courtesy of Bitcoin having a nice pump and bringing everything up across the board, which is great. I was expecting this to drop down a little bit further, down to the sort of 30, sub 30 range, with a little bit further of a drop there, but it wasn't to be. The 13 EMA did get broken. My stop loss buy was activated in here, so I'm back in XRP as of this morning. It's not all bad. I put about 9% in the bag since I sold somewhere up around here. But yeah, look, moving forward, let's see what we've got in store. So our 13 and 55 EMA strategy says that the 13 EMA will now act as support for the price action, and the 55 EMA will be acting as resistance. So I'm in XRP at the moment. If you're not in XRP and you're still in USD, the strategy that I use is now try and buy as close to the 13 EMA as possible. Now that we can assume that this is going to be support, we try and buy as close to that as possible. The range is, what do we got, 34 to, so there is more than a cent in there, so I would normally be looking to sell somewhere around the 55. We very rarely go straight through the 55 after we've broken through, so we usually range for a little bit so you can get a nice little scalp. So selling at support, selling at resistance and buying at support is the strategy. So looking over at Bitcoin, we can see that we did get the little pump up. On this structure here, we have retraced up to the 382 already, and that was smack bang on the 4-hour 55 EMA you can see there. So we are entering an area of high resistance. If we have a look through here, this whole region, all through here, you can see it was support, 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 broken back through, support, support, and now we've come back down below and it's been rejected and getting rejected again. So it is an area of strong resistance for Bitcoin at the moment. What we want to try and find out is this going to, I mean, we could reasonably expect it to retrace up to the 618, just by using where it usually retraces to. But because we've got such a high resistance area, and we have here the 55 and the 382, those signals alone may be enough just to keep traders from pushing the price further. I'll be really interested to see how this candle closes in 17 minutes, whether we get, you know, sort of something closing below the 236. That would be a good indication that the bears are winning a little bit. The general consensus on crypto Twitter is that this thing's going to go up a little bit higher. So yeah, I'm in two minds about it at the moment. I'm not actually that thrilled to be in XRP at the moment. I will probably look to sell at 55. But what I was also looking at as well, if we go to a 1-hour chart and we have a look at our MACD, you can see yesterday when we had that drop, we did set up with bullish divergence here on the MACD. And so we made a lower price low, but yet a higher MACD low. So using MAV retracement, we pick the first indent on the histogram, and we just trace up to the price. So that gives us, where are we? Get right on it. This candle just here, so takes us up to about 3426. Now, what I'll be looking for on lower time frames is another of these sort of rising wedge formations in a 5-wave structure. So if we can get up, and again, this is only if we get up this high. If we get up here, something like that, and on this one, on the MACD, we make a lower high there, so we're making a higher price high here and then a lower MACD high there. I'll look to sell around that 342 region, which is coinciding with the top of the rising wedge. If we've got it with bearish divergence, and also coincides with our NAV retracement target, then that will be a good area for me to sell as well. That being said, let's have a look and see where that ties in on the 4-hour chart. You know, we're looking at a wick into the 55 EMA territory, which is probably not a bad option as well. So what I'll probably do is set a sell order probably around that 342 region. Hopefully we can get a wick up and then at least drop back down, and where we can confirm the 55 is acting as resistance again. That would be the end of a 5-wave structure there. So that, for me, in the short term, looks like my plan. I still think this whole thing's got more room to go down. I'm happy to FOMO in a bit later if this breaks through and really starts to go after we've confirmed that the 55 is support. If it does break through, then that will be a much better bullish indicator for me. But while we're still ranging in that 55 to 13, and we've possibly only got one more leg up before some kind of retracement, I'm happy to take a risk and sell at 342 just above the 55. And then if we start to shoot off, I can FOMO in and try and catch up if that's the case. But at this stage, that's my plan, to sell around that area. Okay, if we have a look at where this price action is also being rejected at the moment, you can see that it coincides with the lowest low of this wave down here as well. So we did identify it as an invalidation line on the last move over here. It got rejected, and it's getting rejected there again. So it's also telling us that the traders are identifying this as not only resistance, but possibly they want to keep this price action below this point here, at least for a close on the 4-hour. So what we'll be looking for is, even if we do have some of this intraday movement up towards the 55, we really don't want to be closing any candles above this region here, above the 336 area. That would invalidate another scenario where this could be a let's have a look here, a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something similar to that. So that's why the traders are really, especially the bears, are defending this line here, because once we do close a candle above that line, it signals to everyone that this scenario here is off as well. So again, it can wick up. We can have a wick into that area. That's fine, but we don't want to be closing any candles if we're taking a bearish position as well. So it's just interesting to see that's where it's getting rejected at the moment as well. So we'll keep an eye on it over the next couple of hours. I will put a speculatively sell order up that high, and then once I sell, put a stop loss above that, or move that stop loss into profit as soon as I can, and once it drops back down below 55 EMA, in case it does decide to take off. But yeah, that's my risk at the moment. Is if that's a 5-wave structure with bearish divergence, there's a pretty good chance that you'll see the price come back down substantially. So, all right, guys. Hopefully that helps. Any questions, just hit us up on Twitter and I'll try and answer them. Cheers.